Hey guys and girls, what is going on? It's Ghost Robo. What you're about to see and listen to is my review, final thoughts, opinion, overall take on Infamous Second Son. I recorded this directly after beating the game, but it got pretty lengthy, so I wanted to split it out and have it be its own individual thing, give you all my thoughts on the full game, the review score I would give it, and kind of where the franchise might go from here, so I hope you will enjoy. You'll get to see the credits roll through, but then me exploring the city with the concrete power, which looks incredible. So I hope you guys will have fun with this video. Let me know your thoughts on the game in the comments down below. I'm already prepping what I'm going to be doing next with the Infamous Second Son game series thingamabob, so that's in the works, and I'll show it to you soon. Until the time, though, guys, sit back, relax, enjoy the show. This game was awesome. You guys were incredibly awesome. I appreciate your support so much on this series. I had no idea it would be as big of a hit as it was. I knew the game would be great, but man, I'm so thrilled that you guys enjoyed the journey with me and that we had so much fun with hashtag Save Betty and Lord Squatch and all the powers and the fun of this game. It's a really fun game. Maybe it doesn't hit all the same story beats that something like The Last of Us has in terms of emotional impact. Maybe it doesn't hit all the mystery and intrigue of something like Bioshock Infinite. Maybe it doesn't hit the length that it really should have. If I have one main gripe against this game, it's that the main storyline is really short. But it's a really fun game, and I think it nails a certain formula that sometimes people forget about games, that they're meant to be fun. They don't always have to be the deepest thing. They don't always have to have the most mini games. They don't always have to have a million options or the most fully fledged multiplayer suite. A game should be fun, and I enjoyed every moment while I played this game. I thought it was a very enjoyable mechanical game. The act of traversing the environment and landscape so quickly in different ways, of flying and running up walls and climbing and gliding, and all of it is really, really, really enjoyable to execute, and I'm glad that that came across in video form, that you guys could see, hey, this is a really fun game to play, and it looks beautiful. Best looking console game ever. We know that now very, very well and true, and everything was enhanced by that. The fact that it looks so good, the fact that the powers came across so epic in their visual aesthetic, really, I think, enhanced a lot of the fun of the game, because it looks so cool the whole way through. And not to say that graphics are everything, because you can create a sure dud of a game without, with great graphics, but I feel like Infamous Second Son was definitely bolstered by its beautiful visuals and the fact that the city felt so real. The day-night cycle was so dynamic. It wasn't dynamic in the sense that it was oscillating constantly, but when they switched it up, you're like, whoa, this is a totally different looking place at night, or with the sun glaring in, or if you remember the dust time, when the crash on the highway happened in the middle of the Seattle or whatever. Really, a lot of moments that I think were defined by the visual flair. The powers themselves, I thought, were more varied and better than ever before. I've seen some people complain about the powers. Sure, it would be great if there was more, but at what point, do they become redundant if you start adding all these powers? And then it was hard enough to feel like you were using all of them, right? And I think the only thing that could have benefited that is a longer storyline. If we boil it down, if you go rush straight through, don't do side stuff, don't collect shards, just go straight through, which it's totally possible to beat the game that way. You're looking at about a 6-hour game, which is interesting to me because the world they created is pretty large. There's a lot going on, and to not utilize it all feels a little weird. Of course, you can go back and they do a smart thing by giving you concrete at the very end, so now you have this full new power set to go explore and use in the game. I don't know if there's a super attack for that or what, but you can go back and clear out the city. I would have liked a little more variety in the side missions. I feel like the earlier Infamous games had more variety in side quests and good karma side missions and bad karma side missions, and there wasn't really a whole lot of it here. Again, the karmic system is boiled down to very fine black or white choices. Do you do the red button press or the blue button press? Which, it's not a big deal. If they ever wanted to toe the gray line of, oh, are you a superhero or a supervillain? Well, they don't do that very well. It's just pick and choose. Do you want to be a good guy or do you want to be a bad guy? And there really isn't much incentive to do a mix, right? Why? I don't know. It would seem very incongruent to the character if you were going back and forth. But speaking of the characters, I thought they were pretty well done. I know some people thought Delson was kind of a smart aleck and didn't really like him. I thought he was pretty good, and I thought he redeemed himself nicely at certain moments. I thought Reggie was a pretty likable character. Betty, of course, hashtag say Betty. Augustine was a pretty solid villain. Fetch and Eugene were unique characters that, you know, they're not the typical strong man or super sexy lady, so I like that. And I don't know, I thought the story moved at a good pace. Perhaps if it was extended out, it would have gotten dull and boring. But I think there's more they could do with this game. I wish that they had more time, I guess, to invest in the game as opposed to the engine, which I assume took a great chunk of time. You know, this is a few months out from launch, but considering how long it takes to polish things and whatnot, it's basically a launch window game. And so prepping things for a PlayStation 4 system and getting the engine running and working so beautifully is pretty crazy. I'm going to keep talking even though we're sitting here. Congratulations, your victory over Augustine. The DUP has made you a hero and improved the lives of conduits everywhere, especially Fetch and Eugene. You chose the way of justice, but if you wonder what you missed, what vicious powers, evil acts, and corruptive influence you might have enjoyed, you could always start again and take a different path. But first, cement your victory by completely driving the DUP out of Seattle. Don't rest until every district in the city is free, and you've collected every blast shard. So now I do have the wondrous concrete ability, as you can see. I can fly and float above Seattle, and the building over there is still looking quite menacing. But I mean, this is a beautiful place, and I'm sure it took them a long time to get it going. I think if they had invested just a little bit more into the variety of mechanics, this game would be a 10 out of 10 for me. Right now, it sits at about an 8.5 or 9, and it's a really strong 8.5 or 9. It's, you know, more fun probably than an 8.5 is or a 9 is. Look at how the concrete builds on him as we fly. That's really cool. But the reason I give it that score is because I wish there was more content here, and I have a hard time, you know, feeling like it's not a bit incomplete. Like, I wish there was more to do, and I wish there was a little more fun to be had. Not to say that my time here wasn't great, and that's why it is my current favorite next-gen game. I think it's the best looking, I think it's the most fun, I think it's the most next-gen of the bunch. So I recommend this, you know, wholeheartedly to anyone. Even if you watch me play, this thing is like a total blast, so you should definitely get yourself some Infamous Second Son if you have a PS4 or when you get one or something like that. And it looks like we can drain concrete from the other soldiers, which is interesting. Our meter, though, is pretty small. We'll have to boost that up with shards and whatnot. But yeah, I think that about sums it up. It's a pretty straightforward game, right? There's not a lot of hidden meaning. There's not a lot of hidden things. There's not a lot of... basically, what you see is what you get. You know, what you see in the first few moments of Infamous, you know, of course the powers are new and stuff, but it pretty much maintains that kind of feel, that kind of playstyle throughout, at least thematically. You know, of course, Concrete's different than Neon, but in terms of what you're doing, you know, there's the camera missions and the agents, and it is what it is. I think it's a very well-done effort. I think that this is the kind of game that right now stands out so much because it's a lot of fun and has... Lord Squatch. And has gorgeous visuals, and it's like the best looking thing you've ever seen. I think it'll be interesting to see. I mean, I honestly do feel like this is a good game. I don't think in 4 years people are going to be like, wow, Infamous Second Son really was crap. But I think that in 4 or 5 years' time, when the consoles have matured and people have mastered the engine side of things, and they can focus majority of their time on gameplay and mechanics and intrigue, I think you're going to be like, wow, Infamous was sort of the first layer of what can really be done with games now. And so if we look at something like The Last of Us as the culmination of the PlayStation 3, Xbox 360 era, great graphics, I feel great gameplay, great story, great mocap, all that beauty in so many different avenues, I think Infamous will be the first layer, and in 4 or 5 years you'll see a game that has everything Infamous has and way more and be like, wow, this is really, really awesome. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to see if they do anything else with Infamous. You know, my first thought after seeing the ending, they set up it real nice for a multiplayer game. All the conduits are free, the people are happy, uh-oh, new villain comes, but now the conduits have to team up together. And sure, you could do the same kind of thing, a new conduit gaining new powers, but you could also do a cooperative Infamous. I don't know how that would work. I don't really want... Well, I shouldn't say that. I think the open world of Infamous is the most fun open world game I've played in possibly years. I like it way more than Grand Theft Auto. I like it way more than Saints Row. I like it way more than a lot of those things because I think the moment-to-moment actions and combat and traversal is so much more fun. It's way more polished than something like Prototype. I think it's the best Infamous yet. I think just this whole feel, I mean, first of all, it looks so sexy. I mean, I've said this before about games, but the only thing I can think of prettier is my girlfriend. Like, this game is so gorgeous, and it's leaps and bounds better than anything I've ever seen. And that's a 100% honest to God true statement. I thought some of the bosses were a little repetitive. I did die at a few of the bosses. I didn't include it. I'm not going to tell you where those deaths were. But I did die at a few of them because they just pound you over and over again. And the complaint I have about combat is sometimes you feel like you're getting thrashed from so many sides that it's a little bit hard to really, like, gain your bearings and mount an attack. It's kind of one of those things where you're like, please just relax for a second so that I may figure out where I'm going and what I'm doing. But for the most part, I thought the combat was really enjoyable. I actually like taking out the DUP and some of the different, what do you call it, like, what are they called, centers or mobile command centers? Yeah. I thought that was enjoyable. Gaining the new powers was always fun. I like some of the banter. I was sad to see Reggie go. I thought they handled that emotional moment pretty well. I mean, I could go on and on about this game forever, but the real question of the day, I hope you guys have stayed this long, and I actually might, well, you might have already heard this, because I might cut it out and put it earlier in the video. So if this is like a repeat, don't feel like you're having deja vu. But what I want to know is, do you guys want to see more? And that's going to come in a couple forms. One, I'm going to do some more side stuff. That's a given, because I just really like this game, so you're getting that for sure. But do you want to see me do an evil playthrough? I could do a full evil playthrough, and in that case, we would do not side stuff, because we'd already have done it all, and just kind of go through the story, see the evil moments, and enjoy this world a little bit longer. That's a interesting task, because I've never done a series twice through, ever, in the history of my channel, so it's got to be something that you guys would really, really want. So smash that like button if that's something you're interested in. If you think you'd like to watch a whole nother Infamous Second Son Evil playthrough, let me know in the comments below, and also with a like. If you want to vote, if you want to have a chance to make a serious impact on what I do next, the best thing you can do is hit that like button if you want that. If you don't want it, no big deal. Just let me know what you thought of the game in the comments below. Know that I appreciate your support so much either way. If we never played Infamous again, I would be a happy camper, because this has been a really enjoyable time for me, a really successful time for the channel, and just a great experience overall for gaming, for Ghost Robo, and just for life, because I like having fun, and this was something I really enjoyed. So thank you for being a part of it. Thank you for making it more fun and giving me cool people to talk to and share the game with and enjoy it with. You guys really are, you're a real cool bunch of people. Some of the most hardcore fans I can see on YouTube, because we do stuff with likes and favorites and support that others don't do, and we need, you know, some people, I have had bad luck with search lately, let's be honest, and yet we still are killing it, and that's totally because you guys just rock so freaking much. You rock as much as Augustine with her concrete power, and now Delson. So I'm gonna let him just enjoy this. This might be the best looking power yet. It looks so good as he flies through, and just the graphics in the city looks real pretty with this this current time of day lighting right about 11 a.m. Guys and girls, thank you so much once again. We're going to wrap things up here. Have a fantastic day. Drink so much. Don't forget to let me know what you think about Infamous Second Son, second series of the evil side of things. Till that time, though, guys and girls, have a fantastic day. Thanks again. You're all awesome. See you guys on the next game. Drink so much. We'll see you all later.